Because if you take a white woman who grew up in a black community,
Literally what I was
who
about to get
lived
to.
that,
I'm glad
right?
you got there.
the person may not be black. Like personally, they haven't experienced it because not every black man experienced that. But they lived it, they see it. They've been in a car with a black man, they've been stopped with a black man, and you know, they have that. Somebody can empathize better than a black woman who has been raised in a white community
That's
and
where-
never have that experience.
Exactly.
I think it's a personal, like an individual experience
is true.
versus a whole race
That is
when
true.
we're talking about
That
it.
is true.
That's
But
literally
because-
that was
that is
my
true.
There's
next
another
point.
layer to that too.
That is true, because now we're talking about the culture. Because race and culture are two different things. My experience is the psychology of things, meaning that I grew up with this, with witnessing certain things. We can identify by that struggle, regardless if I'm white or you are black.
Right.
We have the same culture in that case. So, but what we are doing here, we're speaking from a general perspective as to the general struggle of the black man overall.
But I personally think that I feel comfortable marrying my own race because I there are certain things I want to be able to say in my own language, and I want that person to understand. But I don't believe that you're not able to fall in love, or you're not able to love somebody that is in a different, race, and then that somewhat prevents you from having somewhat of a healthy relationship.
But a conversation is to be had anyway. I mean, you have to talk about what culture we're keeping for our relationship.
Exactly.
Because I do believe in creating. I don't believe in just inheriting everything from your family and your culture and saying this is how I was raised, right? I believe once I'm married and I have my family, or if I'm having a relationship and we're creating something, we have to define the culture. What are we keeping from your culture and my culture? And what are we going to teach our children, or whatever it is, in things
The
like that,
values
right? The values that we
If they wanna have
that
children
we
too.
projected.
Yes.
So if you're going to have that conversation regardless, so it shouldn't matter if the person is white or black.
Yeah. Welcome back, MYW family. We're gonna talk about a great subject today, and thank you for supporting. Thank you for being back with us and listening and watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and also give us a 5-star review, because we know you listen to all of your platforms, all of the podcast platforms that you listen to us in. Make sure that you give us a review. That way we can push the content to everyone. Thank you. All right, and it's I'm your host, Obel. We have
Trisha.
Missy Bell was there.
and we have back with us Woman D.
You get me into the idea. I want to introduce my whole name every time now. Patricia Desel. I think it's a nice notion to tell somebody your whole name.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think the last name goes further than the first name. It's that of the tribe. Although I don't know my last name, it was given to me by the master. I honor my dad by just keeping the last name, but I don't know what my last name is.
You laughing? You don't believe in that, huh?
No, he said by the master. That's the
It
part I'm
was.
laughing.
It is French.
That's the part I'm just
I mean, yeah.
It
I mean,
is.
the French says Belle is there.
Yeah.
I only keep it because I want to honor my dad. It will be X or Y, but my dad was a great. Well,
But what if
you know,
you're somebody who just believe your first name can go as far as your last name?
Well, but the thing is, the last name is shared by the first name is shared by the individual.
Yeah.
The last name
is
has
by the
more than
family.
The family tie,
Yeah.
That's the family. Yeah, it's the family.
the
thing.
whole tribe.
I
By the
like
way,
that.
even the thing that you buy in last name.
That's
That's true.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those purses that you're wearing.
Yeah.
It's the last name you're buying.
Yes. You know something that I like about that though? Because I was thinking about when women get married and then you take your husband's last name. So if you're doing it because you want to honor your father, so basically all of us women out there taking our husband's last name.
Because we're like,
Well, that's a conversation. That's going to be one of the negotiating aspect of when someone comes home for my daughter.
Mm.
That part of the negotiation is that it's gonna be hyphenated with the Belize.
With the bellies.
What,
there.
is that what your daughter
So you
wants, or what
making,
you want
Yeah,
for her?
exactly.
My daughter wants to honor daddy as well.
Is that what she wants, or what you want for her?
Right.
These are conversations. I mean, she's 8 years old. You have to understand we influence our
Yeah, that's true.
folks in our surrounding. If a gang member can convince you to be a gang member, you think I cannot,
Mm.
influence you
My
to
daughter
daughter
to keep
too.
your
Yeah,
last name.
she. There's no question. We have a very good relationship. If that's going to be pleasing to daddy's heart, and she will be.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't relate because I chose my last name. So
Yeah.
it wasn't given to me. I chose mine.
Ah.
What does that mean?
I chose whose last name I wanted to carry.
Between your mom and dad?
No.
Okay.
I don't have my mom's or my dad's last name. I have my stepfather's last name.
Okay. Then you carry on that legacy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It wasn't
honor,
given to me. I chose that.
Yeah, you choose to honor
So
that
you
legacy.
chose to honor his
Yes.
legacy.
Mhm.
I feel like I
But
wanna
you see the insult that it is to the man if he's a man. It's almost like somebody else is walking my daughter down the aisle if you're getting married. You know, the
We're
insult,
referring to he as who? Who is he as the man?
the biological dad, if he is a man. I'm just saying.
I like the if.
Well,
I like the if because the first sentence you made was you assume that he is.
if he,
So I like the
yes, he might be a male, but not a man. It's a difference. But let's keep going. We're not here.
Wow.
We're going somewhere with that.
My God, have mercy. You guys always poke me. You always.
Look
You
at
like to be
that.
poked.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't even intentional. It was like, okay,
You were
the
looking for
statement
it.
is
No, I wasn't.
You
looking for
like to
anything.
be poked.
No. I think that segues right into I think the fact that you're talking about carrying legacy, we can go right into interracial relationship, right?
Mhm.
There is this notion where it's better to date within your culture because
Right.
that person automatically gets you. But at the same time, you have other people who say there's certain level, like when they say like the black men, once they're successful, they go white. They go to the white woman, and black men say it's because black women are not nurturing enough, whatever is out there, right? So can we discuss like the thoughts and misconception that's out there about interracial relationship? I keep saying marriage. Interracial
I mean, it could be
relationship.
yeah,
it
if
could
you're
be
dating,
anything. That's
at least
true.
for me, personal opinion, you're dating to marry. Some people don't.
not everyone.
Some people don't. Not everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why I said personal.
I think the
always make sure I
relationship
do
is
the
broader,
disclaimer
so
that it is
that
my
the relationship
personal
is broader than
opinion.
marriage is more.
That's why I
confined.
always
So,
make a disclaimer.
relationship.
It is my
So
personal
maybe we
opinion.
should
That
say
is not a
romantic
fact.
Romantic relationship.
Yeah,
romantic
because relationship can also be friendship.
And also too, just because they're in a racial relation. Oh, well, we're gonna get to that later.
No, go ahead right now.
No,
Just
because
because.
does it? Because a lot of all the people they also argue that the reason why they want to not do that is because they want to keep their, I guess, their culture alive. For some reason, they feel like this person's gonna feel like they have some type of identity crisis. If they don't date the same race with them, So I don't know if that's really a thing, if that's really true. But I personally think that I feel comfortable marrying my own race because I there are certain things I want to be able to say in my own language, and I want that person to understand. But I don't believe that you're not able to fall in love, or you're not able to love somebody that is in a different, race, and then that somewhat prevents you from having somewhat of a healthy relationship, right? But I personally feel like that's a preference for me.
Yeah,
for me. But if I were to fall in love with somebody that looks different too.
But a conversation needs to be had anyway. I mean, you have to talk about what culture we're keeping for our relationship.
Exactly.
Because I do believe in creating, I don't believe in just inheriting everything from your family and your culture and saying this is how I was raised, right? I believe once I'm married and I have my family, or if I'm having a relationship and we're creating something, we have to define the culture? What are we keeping from your culture and my culture? And what are we gonna teach our children or whatever it is in things
The
like that, right? The
values that
values
you
that we
If they
created,
want to
and the
have
one that
children
we
too.
rejected.
tradition. Yes.
So if you're gonna have that conversation regardless, so it shouldn't matter if the person is white or black
Yeah. Yeah.
or yellow.
Or does it?
Here's a question.
Mm.
Can a white woman understand the struggle or the dilemma of a black man as much as a black woman can? And vice versa. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So do you believe that's the thing? Can a white woman understand the struggle, the path, the dilemma of the black man?
Hmm.
I remember now. I've talked to a lot of folks on this topic, uh, folks who are on different side of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when this whole still happening in America with police brutality and all those things. I remember talking to a lot of black women and the pain that they were feeling, knowing that my black husband is out there and he can get shot any minute.
Right, right, right.
You know, it's almost like that struggle and that level of understanding, I put it in the form of a question, can someone who cannot identify with that struggle, can they sympathize and empathize? Can they really connect at that level?
I think if you
Now-
love,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get to that.
You can empathize. You may not understand
Understand
it
it.
fully because you haven't lived it, but you can empathize. But I think that even goes further. Is the black man looking for that? Right? Because it's a personal thing.
Mm.
What are you looking for in a relationship?
Mm.
Is that on top of your priority list? Are you looking for a partner who can understand your struggle as a black man, or are you looking for something else?
Can I connect with you without understanding the struggle? Or is the connection missing a layer if there's a
Intimacy.
specific aspect of the struggle that I don't understand? There is such a thing, even in sports, that when you struggle with someone, success becomes sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
When we used to catch the bus together, when we're driving this brand new Range Rover,
Mm-hmm.
I can just look at you
Right.
and you know what I mean.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to explain. When we get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs together, then when we hold in that trophy together, it's a different thing.
Right.
So I ask things in sense of I do it in the sense of questions, because I've spoken to many folks on different side of the equation. Now, when it comes to the notion of love, you love whoever the hell that you want to love. I think there's something out there where folks are dictating who you should be loving.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bunch of nonsense. People should be free to choose whoever the heck that they want to love. But I have those questions as to whether or not that connection at that level can reach that top floor.
Yeah, I have a
because
question
of
to
the
that
lack of
though.
the struggle.
Yeah, I have a question to that though. Is it a racial question or is it an individual question though? Because if you take a white woman who grew up in a black community,
Literally what I was
who
about to get
lives
to.
that,
I'm glad you
right?
got there.
The person may not be black. Like personally, they haven't experienced it because not every black man experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
But they lived it. They see it. They've been in a car with a black man. They've been stopped with a black man, and they have that. Somebody can empathize better than a black woman who's been raised in a white community
That's
and
where-
never have that experience.
Exactly.
And I think it's a personal, like an individual experience
true.
versus a
Yep.
full race
That is
when
true.
we're talking about
That
it.
is true.
That's
But
literally that was
that is
my
true.
There's
next
another
point.
layer to that too.
That is
Yeah.
true, because now we're talking about the culture.
Mhm.
Because race and culture are two different things. My experience is the psychology of things, meaning that I grew up this with, witnessing certain things. We can identify by that struggle, regardless if I'm white or you are black.
Right.
We have the same culture in that case. So, but what we are doing here, we're speaking from a general perspective.
Right.
As to the general struggle of the black man overall. Now, that's the reason why I think the door is open. You can love whoever you want to love and be in a relationship with whoever based on those individual stories. That's exactly why that door is open, because the individual story at times can vary from the story of the group. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But what it's gonna be is more like, I mean, you miss someone, you decide to have a relationship with that person, there's going to be struggle, regardless, whether you same race, whatever. There's going to be some learning. Maybe the learning curve might be bigger for someone of different culture. It's a bigger learning curve. If you feel like you're up to that learning curve, fine. There's also a school of thought that says that, from what I've heard, that I feel like I am sleeping with my master.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That I am not gonna, what your people have done to me. It's more like it's a group resentment, if that makes any sense.
Came more from the black men saying they don't like seeing black women with white men.
Say it again.
Black men, they there is like this thing where black men don't like to see black women dating white men,
but they can date white women.
Date white women, but they feel like it's like it becomes like master, taking advantage of the a black woman or the black slave and things like that.
There's no love there.
I know, but there is still they have this. There is this idea out there where like, oh, it's not the same.
But why is it not the same? Because what wouldn't it be considered the same thing if they're also dating a white woman and that white woman has a white father?
Because I think now they consider themselves as their master.
Their master, yeah.
I don't know. Is that what you think?
That might be what it is.
They have graduated.
Yeah. I mean, every man's dream is to be master, I guess.
Here is another thing that I want to introduce. There is such a thing where I've seen it in social media. There was a pastor that came out and was talking about how his wife. You
said pastor and she.
No, I was referring to his wife.
Okay.
He had to, like, his wife raised him. And then that thing went viral on social media. His wife raised him. Like he had to grow a lot. Like his wife raised him.
Oh, okay.
Raise him. Yeah. Like he was already married. He's a man, of course. It's not like they grew up together. It's just like he was talking about the growing up that he had to do when they got married. It's almost like his wife raised him. And then that went viral. Listen to this. It went viral, and a lot of black women were saying how it's about time that black women stop taking on the struggle of the black men. It's about time for black women to start getting into their soft era. We can no longer afford to be raising grown black men and things like that. I do believe, even though we can get to it, we can get each other, we can connect, I do believe there is a certain level of toxicity when you reach to that point. It really doesn't matter if we share the same cultural experience, because you can no longer take excuse saying that, oh, it's because I was traumatized by the shooting of the black men, or you don't know how hard it is for me out there, or even for the woman to say, oh, as a black woman, I'm this, I'm that. I think once you get into the relationship, we can no longer take excuse for, use society as an excuse for you to bring toxicity into that relationship. There has to be like a sacred ground, where even though we share the struggle, we share the cultural experience and how there's a lot of fear out there, but I'm not putting that on your shoulder. just because I connect with you and you get it,
Is there
right?
part of it that's, I can only speak from conversation. Is there part of it that could maybe be some jealousy as well? Because what I've heard is that sometimes there are complaints that Caucasian females are only dating the successful Black men,
That is
like the
true.
ball players and
That
all the
is
folks
true.
with money. So
We can say, I'm sorry,
They're
got you up.
stealing all men.
No, I mean,
I don't think anybody
That's
does
another-
anybody because most of the time the men are the pursuers.
The men are the one choosing
Yeah,
them.
so-
Right.
no, but they're
Or
also
black
going
men.
after them because let's say somebody that's broke approach them, they could say no, right?
well, I don't.
I
If
mean,
you
you
broke,
have a lot of
if you broke, I don't think
black.
you should have a girl.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Are you saying everybody, like all of the broke people, should stay single?
Always trying to drop this mic.
That's an opinion.
But define broke though.
Sorry,
Define broke. Like, are you on the path
I
of
got his train of
becoming
thought.
or
Let him get back to his train of thought because I started this. Sorry.
There is a solid
Finish your train of
question.
thought.
are you on the path of becoming or are you broke?
Well,
No, you
then
no,
when you
but-
become,
Broke.
That's a different
then
conversation.
when you become, then you get
And then you can pursue and becoming before pursuing.
Jimmy.
You become
That's
a
good title.
candidate.
That's a good title right there.
Hey.
Becoming before pursuing.
If
We
you
didn't get
are
eliminated.
becoming, when you have become,
Stay in your zone
Stay in your zone.
until you get there.
But,
Stay focused. Stay focused on
Yeah,
the bag.
that is.
But that would eliminate people who started since high school
Yeah,
and
that's true, 'cause they're
college
ball
and
players.
things
But
and
We're talking about
and
grown
growing
men.
No,
We're
different.
talking about
together.
grown men. We're not talking about,
people who go up
but
together.
I mean, if you're in high school, the concept of
Yeah.
you're not.
We're both on the
I mean,
same
yeah,
level.
We're kids.
we are high
Yeah,
school kids.
technically kids.
having a
Yeah,
growing
yeah.
together.
Doesn't
That's
count.
different.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
if you're a
different-
grown man,
No, if you're a grown man, you should not even be allowed to have an erection if you don't have the financial means.
Wait, what?
What?
No, that took me a second.
No.
They shouldn't be able to have
why
what?
should that be
A boner.
allowed? He said allowed.
Allowed? You shouldn't be
Allowed.
allowed to have what?
Not
Anyway,
even an
let's get back to
erection.
it.
Get here.
Let's get back. But you guys realize
The thing
that.
shouldn't be functioning, okay?
Well, I mean,
Shouldn't be functioning with somebody else, but it can function if you're doing well.
That's another
but that's a
topic.
different. That's a
That's a
different
different-
topic.
yeah,
that's a
another
different
topic.
topic. But
That's probably the only thing you should be doing if you broke.
Oh my God, guys, let's go back. Doc,
but this,
could it be jealousy,
this
right?
segment-
Could it be jealousy because they are dating
successful black men.
successful
Yes,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
successful
yeah.
it could
black
be
men?
jealous. It could be jealousy. You have to realize that there's a very low percentage of successful black men. Let's be real. I think what is the statistic? Less than 6% or 6%. I have to double check the statistic. That's making over $100,000 if you financially.
Oh,
Wow.
jeez.
You know, that doesn't account for those who are gay. Okay, and let's be real.
Facts.
Well, that's been
So it's not, that number is not high.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the number is already low, then it's not a lot. I have to double check the statistics. If the number is already low, then people are taking away from this number.
the pick.
Then
Yeah.
you could see how that could create tension.
Mm.
But you have to also understand that it's exposure, is the law of proximity. We have to give credit to that
There
as
you
well.
go. Yeah.
You know, if my boys go to Harvard, for instance, and they have a higher probability
Of
of
finding a
being
white woman.
exposed to
Mhm.
someone of Caucasian descent,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whereas if they were to go to FAMU or HBCU, that the
Mhm.
probability of a successful
black woman.
black woman will be higher.
Right.
So you have to understand that proximity as well.
Mm.
The ball players that we are talking about, a lot of those agents or whatever,
Mhm.
contacts, access. Now, I'm not making an excuse.
Right.
That's not what I'm making. I'm
But
just
that's
trying
a
to.
valid one,
I'm
though.
just trying
Mhm.
trying to look at both sides of the equation, which is
Right.
consistent to what I've always done.
Mm.
So I think it's very important. Going back to what we are saying, the top is lonely. You have to come up when you come on top. Come up with your people. So if you have your girls that you had good relationship with,
Try to
I
make
think it's a
them
good
as-
idea that you bring that girl up with you. But what if that girl happened to be a Caucasian? Are you telling me that I should not marry or be with that girl just
Yeah.
because she's
So you can
Caucasian?
keep the race
Yeah.
You see what
alive.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
no,
that's
no,
where
Or if you're looking for love, should you just be focused on I'm only gonna keep my eyes open when like there's people who are of my, race, and then
But I
all the
have
other
a-
people I'm closing my eyes. It shouldn't.
I want to. Okay, so now let's go ahead into the societal, I guess, debate where they're saying, I mean, some women say that white women they're like the fall of black men, and that
oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
This part.
yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing where they feel like a lot of black successful men, they are gonna be
Oh,
going.
like Shannon Sharp.
Well, I mean, if you want to throw names out there,
Well, I don't
let's start
know.
with Shannon Sharp. We have this other guy who was in a scandal. What was the other guy
OJ
who's
was a while
He's
back.
with Megan Good now.
Oh, no.
He was with a white woman, and then
Jonathan.
Jonathan Majors. There's a lot of other examples,
Is
but
it
they're
really
saying
white
that
women though, or
Yeah,
is it
so I'm
because society is listening to white women more than they listening to black women?
Huh.
Right? Is it
Explain.
the white women? Because the same things that are happening, there's black women who come out and say the same thing were happening to them too. It was just the white women who started that, and people started listening to them. Then once the black women talk, people are like, well, if she as a white woman say that, and this black woman comes and say that, then yeah, there may be some
Because you are
truth to
labeled,
it.
then when the black women want certain things from the black men, you are labeled as gold diggers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But when you deserve for your guy to take care of you, but when the white female, from what I understand, is
It's
doing
just
that, that same label
basic
is not being
requirement.
applied to them. Which obviously that's what they are. They're gold diggers as well. If you are just trying to be in my circle just so you could get my money. But I think what society is doing or has been doing is to be quick to associate the label of gold diggers to any black women who demand certain things from their spouse. That is the dilemma that we have to deal with. But I don't think that
I hear also too, it's about the way that us black women are demanding it. I hear that thing about black women. I mean, not I hear. We know how we are labeled aggressive, we are labeled harsh, we're not nurturing enough and things like that, except with our children. And this is why black women are dating white women because it's easier.
we're not
but
submissive.
could it be
They're submissive. They can't deal with the trauma of.
the reason why the black women is being so aggressive or so upfront is because the black man has not held his position.
That's it. That's it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yes,
and they
that
show
is
up
making a lot of sense.
differently too
Differently.
in those relationships.
relationships,
Because
yeah.
as a black man, the things that it's like, okay, you damaged the black women, and then now you go and find a white woman. So of course now you get all these aggressive women that you caused to be aggressive, that you're calling aggressive to go and deal with somebody else. You
Right.
caused the damage, and then when you get that white woman, you're treating her like the queen,
Like the- right.
the
You're
treatment that the
raising the
black woman never
standard.
had. So of course you're gonna get it in return. So
Could it also be that the black woman is a mirror for the black man? Like, I see you, brother. You know,
because a lot of black
Like,
men say they
'cause
see
the
their
thing is-
mother. They see their mother in the
that
black
woman,
woman.
yeah.
And if they don't have a
Yeah, and I
relationship,
think in some instances it's not even you harsh or things. It's like you don't have it's almost like when you say like that BS is not gonna fly here.
yeah,
Because I see
I
you,
see
I see you
you.
for all
Yes.
you are, and I know what you're about. You know, you can't fake it with me.
But you see all those things, ideas that we have in here, it goes to tell us that we cannot put things in one basket.
basket.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
cannot say that this is the main reason, this is the main reason. We need to start looking at things that there is a combination of factors
reasons,
that
yeah.
lead to certain things. But
Right.
society wants to reduce it to, this guy only date a white female because he just looking for someone soft. It is not that simple.
That's not
Yeah,
that simple.
right,
yeah.
right.
Or
Could be his preference too.
Right. So we need to be
Just be
able
that.
to, to validate all those reasoning behind those relationships. At the end of the day, It's your personal preference.
Right.
Your
That's what it
relationship.
comes down to.
Right.
Mm.
Whatever values and beliefs that you have, if that person, fits that thing, that's the person that you go with. Black or white or yellow or...
Now, in terms of procreation, do you guys believe that it makes it a little challenging for a mixed child to, exist in a world where they have to figure out their identity? Although, as a parent, it is your job to instill those values, to instill the culture, because they're both, because obviously when they come out, people just automatically see them as Black if they're with a Black person, right? So,
Or that thing, you kidnap them.
This is not it.
Or you a foster.
No
or you a foster.
way.
Or you a foster
foster
parent.
parent.
Just saying.
True.
Do you think that
You're the caretaker?
that can also create some type of maybe that we need a maybe
Yeah.
we need a big
I
kid
saw social
to ask
media
that question
post
too.
Yeah.
when the lady said that she was with her daughter on the playground,
Yeah.
and somebody thought that she was the nanny.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a nanny. Yeah. But I think it's easier now because
is.
the mixed children, it's a thing now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it
There's
is,
more,
it is.
and I think there's a statistic by like 2030 or 2035
More
that,
people are marrying,
more, mixed children. I think it's easier now than it was back in the days where people were like, well, where do I fit? I don't fit in the Black culture or the white culture. Where do I fit? Now there's a whole community of mixed children. Yeah, they're like, well, I can just say I'm mixed. I don't have to
Pick a side.
pick a side.
My thing
kind
is,
of
How do you
thing.
fill out
parenting-
your application?
You just put mix.
There is no mix.
There's no mix.
Where?
They
There is
usually-
Caucasian, Black.
Black, other. They do have other.
They,
no?
they have other.
They have
But
other.
they
Why
have
should I
other.
be ordered?
Other.
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 It is ordered. No, because
Okay, just do.
Oh,
You want to
that's
be a
what
cat?
you mean.
You
That's
want to be a
what you
cat? Be a
Yeah,
cat.
but I think at some point they might change it because
They
they
need
keep
to change
adding.
it,
They keep
yeah.
adding to that. But then again, I think it's personally how do you identify? Because mixed children identify differently. There are some mixed children that would tell you, straightforward that I'm Black.
Yeah, or
There's
I'm
some
white.
that would say, I'm white. There's some that would say I'm mixed. Right? It's how do you identify? So I think they need to add that, but
The thing is, parenting is already a difficult task. I think adding those extra components to it make it much more difficult.
right.
When you add that daddy is white, mommy is Black, I have to teach you your history. I have to teach you what the history of your dad, what your dad people did to my people, and I have to teach you the way that I kicked the French behind. It become a very complicated. Well, I mean,
but
people gotta
complicated
know
for
that.
complicated. It's like you say, parenting is complicated.
But
Period.
why?
So
That's what I'm saying. If it's already complicated, why should I add another layer of complication, which is a very complicated layer? Because now I have to teach you about what white people has done to Black people, and I have to tell you that this is the reason why when we do what we do, that's why we do it. Do you see what I'm saying? So I got to teach you the history of your mom and the history of your dad. Now, are we emotionally intelligent enough to take that information and still not any hatred? Because this society, this is a Black and white society at the end of the day.
It is.
Let's be real.
It is. It is.
Especially America.
Yeah, you have to pick a side.
Is either
You
Democrat,
don't this or
Republican,
that,
white, and
yeah.
Black. These are the things that happens here.
It's ridiculous.
So, but if someone feel like they want to take on the task, who am I to tell them not to do it? It is what it is.
We can end with that.
Yeah, a lot of parents don't even do that education though.
They can.
but a lot of parents don't even
Probably
educate their
won't
people.
even-
A lot of even same race don't even educate people about their own culture. So
Yeah,
I don't know if that would make a difference.
But the education of the Negro becomes much harder nowadays because it is an education that is reliant on a school system. Well, a school system cannot do it. So now to educate a kid about the Haitian Revolution, I have to take on the task.
Yeah.
I need to drive to the places, to the different
And do
museums
it,
to
yeah.
make sure that they know what that is and understand the role that the Haitian Negro play in the Civil War. So if I don't even know how to read my basic ABCs, do you really think that I have the time or the academic fortitude to do that
Right.
kind of work?
Yeah.
No. And going back to the idea of survival, If my entire time I'm trying to find survival, I don't have time to educate my offspring.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
But I have a question to that though. Do you think the people who are really thinking about, my culture, my history, my background would get themselves in a, interracial
A
relationship?
lot of them do.
No, if my culture, I want to sit down with my children and say, this is what these other
I see
people
what you're
did
I
to
agree with
me
you.
and
Most
my
likely
I
not.
culture.
do.
Most
Do I
likely not.
really want to get
Yeah.
the relationship
Most
with
likely
I
not.
that
get it. Yeah.
person and have children and then sit down and have, because I don't know if you can have this conversation without having any kind of hatred or any kind of resentment or something. I don't know if you can share that history without like, yeah, this is what happened, and then and then the your counterpart is sitting there and then share their story, and then you're like, let's merge our histories together. I don't know if somebody who's really thinking about passing down that part of history really want to be.
Or if they're doing it with an authenticity, or are they leaving things behind? Within that education.
But most of the time, people don't get that deep, though.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like,
They might just go
you fall
surface
in love
level.
with somebody.
But you'll be surprised. Maybe
Well,
some people are having
but
this
the
conversation.
No, but
I
that's
do
why I
think
said
maybe
it's a
people
question.
are.
I'm wondering,
But
is there
yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
out there that say yes? I mean,
Let us know in the comments if you're
like the
interracial.
people,
You're having those
the people who are,
conversations.
if there's somebody who's in the interracial relationship, like, have you sat down with your children and have this conversation like the way that it happened without leaving anything out? And have you been able to do it without any resentment? And having your partner sitting there and having that conversation. I'm curious
But
about
at some
it.
point, I think there has to be a dissociation because it's not your father who did it. It's almost like if my grandfather was a murderer and then I marry a man in his family and stuff.
Yeah.
I fall in love with that man.
Yeah.
Can I hate
Yeah, but
Right.
if
the
your
person I
grandpa,
fall in love
if your
with
grandpa
because
was
my
a bank robber,
grandfather?
he robbed a bank and got $1 million and passed that $1 million to you, then until you can share that $1 million to me, you cannot start having a conversation.
But if you are in a relationship, you're probably sharing the dollar.
Well, we're talking about from a collective perspective here.
Right.
Okay, we're not
This
talking
is
about
like
the
a one
individual.
person.
Right.
We're
We're not
talking about
talking
a
about the
group
individual.
of
But
That's
sometimes people do fall in love, and that history just becomes like it's a non-matter. Like
So that's what I'm
it's not
saying.
And
It's
also,
like
something
you
we
that's
have to
driven
look
us.
at
it
we have
down.
to also look at the folks that also don't agree with what happened in the past, or
No.
that are reformed in some sense, where it's like, I understand what my ancestors did, and I
Yeah,
don't
but
align
it
with
has
that.
nothing to do.
It has
yeah.
nothing to do with who
With
I am as a
me
person.
and
This is my
hus-
history.
Yeah.
I can teach my kids differently. I can still be able to tell them,
Then are
this
you
is
willing
wrong.
to
But I don't think I
This
think
is
we,
where
I
I
think
came
we're
from,
focusing on the
but this is wrong.
person. I think we're focusing on the person. I'm more about sharing this
the
history,
collective.
the collective, and then this person is sitting there, and
But that
I am
person is in a
talking-
relationship, and that becomes
Right. This person
individually
is there,
about
but
them.
That's the problem.
as
No,
a couple.
No, you still maintain your individuality in a relationship.
But you are
right.
part. You came
You're part
from
of the
that. You're part of
collective.
the lineage, right?
Yeah.
You came from that. You're still sitting there. It's a conversation that we're having. So
You know what I'm
think,
thinking?
is it? Can
You're
I have
thinking,
this
like, this is what
conversation
your
without
father's
you?
ancestors did.
Without so right. I'm telling the story. I'm not pointing fingers at
Yeah,
anybody.
but it's still
You're
like,
sitting there, right?
Yeah.
You're sitting there, and you're like, yeah, I may not. You may still tell the child like, yeah, this is what my ancestors did. That has nothing to do with me. But you're sitting there. You're still reliving the history. You're still reliving the history that I am sharing.
Even
right?
basic conversation, there's something that we'll do.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
kid will
yeah.
go just look at me and say, Papa, Moon Blanc. So just
Actually,
that.
that's
Right.
true.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, Moon
So
Blanc.
imagine
Hey,
you're
just
married
go.
to a Moon Blanc.
You know?
Yeah.
Moon Blanc is obviously white people,
But I see people
imagine.
turn it into a joke because I see
Well,
a lot
yeah,
of interracial
but then no.
couples on social media, and they'll do like those joking reels about each other's race
Has it
and
gotten
things
deep enough
like
for them
that.
to not take it as a joke, though? Has it gotten deep?
I don't know. I'm not
right?
in their relationship. I married
Even
a
in the
black man.
household,
So.
even in the household, I understand. Even in the household, I understand when my black wife is doing her hair. I know what it means. She's gonna go for 10 hours, and that's just part of the process.
But white people can
understand.
understand too
I understand
sometimes.
when she's cooking the extra
Yeah,
smell, whatever.
yeah.
All the small
The
things.
small memories.
I don't need to ask you
Yeah,
extra question. Why did you
You
go?
do that?
You want to do your hair and it takes you
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 hours or whatever.
Right.
Because I understand the culture This is how you do it. When a hot iron hit those black hair,
You know
I
what it
know
feels.
what it
You
smells.
smelled it.
You don't need to explain that to
What is
me.
that burning?
Yes, I know what it is.
No,
What does that
honey.
smell?
Yeah.
Burning in the
Hair smell like this,
Are we
honey.
cooking something?
But you know something?
Stop.
I like that you bring that out because there's something that I've been thinking about how also we can contribute to the fall of each other because we know her history, but you don't accept it. Because if you have a black person, a black woman who has not accepted herself as part of the black culture, you're not gonna get that connection.
Well,
And if you have a black man who has not accepted the culture of a black woman, you're
That's why
gonna
he
lose
said
your
culture
hair
versus
Culture.
race.
because
That's why he said,
you're gonna
your
try
culture.
to change that person into something, and you
else.
never. And if that person wanna hold on to their roots and they wanna do this, they wanna do that, and things, but you are already European, like you were saying, like you have been refined by the master, and you want all of the refinery that is in the white culture. You're never gonna have that connection
It's true.
in the relationship,
There are some
even
good-
though
there are
you
some
both
really
the same
cultured
color.
white people.
Even
Very
even
cultured.
though you are both of the same color.
Mhm.
So it has to be the basic of this has to be the love and the communication that is established between the two of us.
Here's,
Not just
It
the
works.
collective.
I know we got to go, but here's what I propose.
We've passed our time.
I believe that the black man owe a debt to the black woman
Mm.
because they have been carrying us around for a long period of time.
Mhm.
Whether it's
Can you repeat that again? Sorry.
You guys, I believe that the black man owes a debt
Oh, okay.
to the black woman because you have been carrying us
Mm.
for a long period of time. You've had greater success academically, sometimes financially, and that's the reason why sometimes you don't even want to be with us. Okay, so I don't know how we're gonna repay that debt, but I think a good way to start that is for us to stop the war that is between the black man and the black woman. Why am I asking for the black men to do it? Because we men, we take lead. Okay? So we must stop that war and say, hey, honey, come here. Talk to me so I can understand. I am going to allow myself to be vulnerable to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to entrust you with my feelings, knowing that you've been protecting me for all this time. Now I'm trusting you. I want to trust you again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what ought to happen.
And the black women have to be open to receive that black man and all the emotions and vulnerability,
Yes.
and not
a
push
softie.
them and not
Yes.
push them away
Yes.
by not listening
Yes.
when they
Dismissing that
want
too.
to open.
Mhm.
Yes.
When they want to open up to
So
them.
I think that's where we need to be. But the black women, the guard is up because we have so many empty promises at times.
Yeah.
And that lead to a big wall, and they are afraid of lower that wall.
Right.
So we must speak and we must act, but the war must stop. It's not a question of
It
European
must.
versus what European is doing, whatever. It's what we're doing with ourselves.
And
You
I
heard it.
agree to that because I've heard people, especially on social media, when people say, well, you can have your preferences, right? You can choose to not be with a black woman. But once you start saying, I'm not with a black woman because,
Yeah.
it
that's-
becomes a different thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have your
You
preference.
labeling
You
us.
go with whoever you want to be.
Exactly.
You be with whoever you want to be. And that's that. We, as the black women, just have an issue when you say, okay, well, we picked this person over you because.
I don't have to demonize you just because I'm
Because
not.
I
Exactly.
know,
with
yeah,
you.
exactly.
That to explain my behavior, I demonize
Yeah.
you. That's just
Yeah.
stupidity.
All right. Well, learn from what Doc said. Start paying those debts.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
And for the women to start opening
start
their
opening
arms.
Thank you.
And
See?
provide a soft spot for those black men to
Exactly. Be a
land.
safe space
I
for a
love
black
it.
man.
Be a safe space.
I
Be a
love
safe
that. It was a
space.
good conversation. Guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments. I know you have a lot to say according to our last season. So, but thank you guys for watching and continue to share this podcast with all your friends. We appreciate the support always. Mind your wellness.
Because it's your business.